have two questions for you. If you are a very detail-oriented person who has a tendency to take on too much. Now, I'm a Virgo and I like detail. I like getting into the nitty-gritty. And I also know how easy it is to get bogged down in there. Just hours can whittle away and you're under time pressure and it can take so long to get things done and you can be frustrated, brings more stress into your life. So if that sounds at all familiar to you, here are my two questions. Now the first one is a very practical question. They're two very different questions. So the first one, is the time and energy you are putting into this task proportionate to the payoff and the personal cost? I've got a friend who's a kind of researcher and does work for different companies, and different companies have different budgets, and he does, shall we say, work at a standard price and then work at a AAA price. Now, he wants to give both companies a AAA service, which is admirable, that standard of excellence that he holds himself to. But those extra hours he puts in for those paying the standard price, that has an impact on his life. He's under more time pressure, and it takes away time from other elements of his life that make him, make life fun. That having time with your loved ones, having time to relax, having time to earn money in different ways, because he's giving those extra hours that he's not being paid for. And the payoff doesn't always have to be financial. We can get payoff in all sorts of ways. Sometimes it's about experience, about building a reputation, all sorts of things. But it's important to weigh the time and energy you're putting into something. The emotional energy as well as the physical energy. Is that proportionate to the payoff and the personal cost? And the second question I've got for you is, what is the higher perspective here? What do you need to learn? That life lesson that you're here to learn. That lesson that your soul wants you to learn. That keeps coming up for you. This can be things like, for example, in my friend's situation, this might be around self-confidence, self-worth, better boundaries, what you can say no and yes to. And our self-care. Self-care is such a huge one for people. Valuing that, taking care of themselves, doing things that are for their good and for their well-being. There can be multiple lessons that we're learning in a difficult scenario. And so that's really worth you looking into that, because once you kind of really delve into what are the lessons that you're here to learn, well, then kind of what you need to work with that will bring you more ease and more flow into your life. And if that's something you have been trying to do and you're struggling with and you need some help with that, I can certainly do that, so please get in touch. But to recap again, those two questions: is the time and energy you're putting into something proportionate to the payoff and your personal cost? And the other, what is the higher perspective, the lesson that you're learning? Are you coming from fear? How can you come from love? It's all about creating more love and peace and ease in your life.